Guys, how's it going? Ghostly Rich here. Today we're going to be installing a stereo, new speakers, and a 4-channel amplifier. 5-channel. Oh, there we go. 5-channel in the Geo Tracker. Is that what we're running with? 96. Sweet. 96. We've got our power wires. We got everything going on here. We've got a subwoofer going in. Alright, so the first thing we're going to probably do is just take out some trim so that way we can see where we want to put our speakers and all that other fun stuff. We'll also scout out some area for power wire. We're going to try and put the amp under the seat, but if that doesn't work, maybe we can put it somewhere in the back. We'll see what we end up doing. For right now though, I'm going to kind of get set up and I'll show you where we go from there. First step, pop your hood by using the little pole inside your glove box. That's kind of neat, eh? It's kind of like an anti-theft. It's kind of like Sprinters, how they have their gas door. It's right on the driver's side. Anyway, let's see here. We got some meaty grommets right here. So, perfect. Looks like that's where our power wire is going through, is just right about here. I was going to see if we had a clutch plate, but no. So that's fine. I'm just going to probably poke a hole right through here. We'll shove our power wire through here, and that should be good. Where we're going to do our power wire is, if you look right here, there's your positive terminal on your battery, passenger side. And if you look down right here, let's see if it'll focus in for me. There's a little black rubber cap right there. Just popped it out. Gonna actually just do a bottle cap slice like I usually do in these. It's just a blank, and then it'll come out through the bottom. So what I literally did is went inside the vehicle, popped it out through the hole. I did just like a McDonald's top end. You just do a small cut, it goes around like that, and it seals nicely along the wire. From there, you can just pop that back in down here. Just feel that lip, and get the lip in, and stuff like that. Once you get your lip in, ta-da, it's in. Now, we can either A, work on our fuse over here and get our battery fuse all in, or what we can do is just say, screw it for right now and go get the amp all done up and see how we're going to hide the wires. So for changing a speaker in a 96 Geo Tracker, all you got to do is loosen the 2 screws right here. Once you loosen the 2 Phillips screws right here, some people call it a star, you just pop this panel out. After you do that, there's not even 4 screws in this one, which is fine. There's just 2. We can get away with that. Just loosen the 2 right here. One more. Again, you could always add more screws if you wanted to. Looks like they just have some speed fast clips on there. And then we've got our stock speaker clip. We're going to remove this and we'll solder onto this. I'm going to look up the wires and we'll see which color goes where. So for your rear speakers, if you actually have them, this one has blanks right here. You just pop them forward. There's a little casing, and as you can see, it's just a cut in here. I'm gonna cut this out, and we're probably gonna go a little bit bigger with the speaker that we put in here, because that's a really tiny speaker. If we can cut it, maybe Dremel it or do something here, we'll see. But we'll just cut it a bit bigger so that way we can fit a lot nicer speakers than just 2 sets of really small ones. So, give me 1 second, I'll show you what we're going to do. Okay, so I popped this panel off to see what was behind it. Of course, there is actually a speaker here. It was just such a crappy speaker, I didn't even notice it. So, speaker sitting right here. Going to remove this speaker. We're probably going to put a bigger speaker in here because, like I said, this is pretty small. So what we'll do is I'll probably pull this out and then see what I can do for cutting a hole a little bit bigger to get the other speaker in. But it should be good. I should see this. So this has only got what, three screws holding it in. 1, 2, 3. Remove those. This one right here that sits like this, as some would say hamburger style, will be your positive wire, and the one that's up and down, aka this black blue wire, this is going to be your negative. So even if we went back here, just because we know the stock speakers now, this one right here, the all green, will be positive, and the green black will be the negative. Okay, so I'm actually not going to be reusing this wire. I'm just going to run all new wiring because I'm putting in a 5-channel amp. So that's basically it. Just slide in. You can, it says 4 inches, but we tried a 5 1/4, and the 5 1/4 still slipped right in there. You might not be able to put your really fancy little grills back on, but it'll give you a way nicer mid-bass driver. So I would suggest going with a 5 1/4. Back here, I'm just gonna I've got such a big opening. I'm gonna try and cut out the panel to put a 6 or a 6 1/2. We'll see how it goes. 6 1/2 ring like so. Take your speaker, slide the magnet in through the opening on here, because with this speaker it works perfectly. That magnet will just slide in right through here, and then you can just bolt the speaker on top. But first, of course, you'll mount the speaker ring here, and then you'll mount the speaker to the ring. So that's one way of doing it. You could even silicone the inside of the ring if you worry about air leak, but you really don't need to. The other way of doing this, of course, is just, I mean, you could cut out the panel to it and then mount it without going through your panel, whichever way you want to do it. And so that's basically how you're going to do this. And then if you're running fresh speaker wires for an amp, you should be able to just pull the carpet back here and then slip it out through the bottom of the panel there. So I hope this helps you out with changing out your speakers, just a couple different options. So right here, all you would do is put in a 4-inch speaker and you will be good. That's all I would do. I tried the 5 1/4, but I didn't like how the door was gonna sit next to them. So yeah, just put in your 4-inch speaker, and then the rears we'll put in our 6 1/2s. For pulling out the stereo in a 96 Geo Tracker, what we're gonna have to do is, first, you're gonna have to slide out this dish. All you do is you pull it forward and it should slide right out. Sometimes they have a little push down, so you'll push it out and the dish will come out. There'll be one Phillips screw right here if you look inside. Loosen that and bend this out of the way, and you'll notice this comes out. Next thing that you're gonna wanna do is pull off all the little knobs on here. Once you pull off all the little end pieces, you could grab in here and you'll have to wiggle and just slowly pull this forward. You'll see that there's a light right here. You should disconnect the light from in here, or just pull it so you have a lot of extra like this for right now. But you're gonna see a screw here and a screw here. Let's get those out of here. So once you get all those screws out down there, you're gonna look up here. You're gonna see these. They're really annoying little pop-out Phillips. What you have to do is you have to pop the centers out of the center. Like you'll see I've kind of got one going on here, but you'll get the Phillips screw out of there, out of the center, and it pops away from the pin, and then you can slip them out. And there's just 2 of them right above here, and then we'll be free. So the trick to getting these buddies that are way up here inside there is you have to go gentle. If you like put any pressure on these, that's when they try to not screw it. So what you do is you take a flat blade or something and you stop this one from moving. Then you take a really good Phillips. Make sure these are so easy to strip. So you jam your little flat blade up in here so that way this doesn't spin, and then almost zero pressure. Start unscrewing it and you'll see it slowly come out. Then grab it by the tip. Don't fully unscrew it, just about that much. And then you wiggle the screw and then out comes the clip. Do that on both sides and we should be able to just pull this out. So next thing is take out the 4 Phillips right here. Just take out all these 4. You actually have an anti-theft device. So what you're gonna have to do is go under the dash. And if you go in here, I don't know if my camera's gonna focus in. Back there, see those 2 Phillips screws? Take them both out. One's gonna drop this tray that's wiggling around, and the other one's the anti-theft device for the stereo. So next thing you're gonna need to do is just put this on like so. Put the car all the way forward. You just wiggle this a little bit, work it around, and yeah, now you're just gonna, you can either unscrew the anti-theft device right here, or you can just do that. So what I'm gonna do is just turn the vehicle off for a second here, make sure my handbrake is on so it doesn't go anywhere, and we're just going to get this stereo out. So it's pretty easy. All you're gonna do is just color match. The orange is your illumination wire, the red is your ignition, the yellow is your constant, and of course the black is your ground, and then the rest are just speaker wires, and they all color match with your new stereos harness. So literally just color match and crimped to the exact same color. If you have an orange dimmer and an orange illumination, always just hook up the illumination. Dimmer isn't worth it. I wouldn't bother. Now, if you have a Kenwood deck or anything like that, if you don't want to try and hunt down your e-brake wire, all you have to do is, of course, ground this, or I would suggest you get yourself a TS8, and then that just bypasses the parking brake wire for the stereo, so that way you don't have that kind of stuff going on. So other than that, yeah, just get yourself an Alpine parking module if you don't have or if you don't want to run this to the parking brake. If you do, in that vehicle, it's pretty simple. That little extra center console, just pull off all the screws, lift it off. I'm sure you'll find the parking brake handle, and at the very end of the handle you'll have one wire going to the parking brake, and you just solder it onto there. I'm not going to bother showing that because with this one we're just going to attach the green wire right to the grounds, because that way it's just all done. All right, other than that, I mean, just color match. With me, I'm only going to be using the yellow, the red, and the black, and then the remote wire and the parking brake wire, because I'm actually running a 5-channel amp, so I'm going to be using the pre-outs on the back of this stereo. Either you stick with plastic, or you can reuse the metal ones right from the old one, right from the old stereo. That's what I did, just reuse the metal ones. I'd prefer the metal over the plastic just because of the strength, especially if you do some off-roading. You don't want that on there. So just bolt the two on. You see how I had lots of mounting options, but yeah, I just chose one top, one bottom slot. There we go. I was going to reuse possibly that anti-theft. It doesn't line up. I could drill it out and make it work, but I'm not too worried about it. So if you want to, and you do want to reuse the anti-theft device, if it's the same thickness, you can just line up that piece, and if you have a screw hole in the back like that, you can just screw into that, and then you'd have the part that would screw into the cup holder. Good for people that have high theft ratio in their area. So we're going to put our Bluetooth microphone right here. It's just going to clip right on, and then we can run the wire down along the edge through here. If you put your fingers through here, see how you can see my fingertips? Just pass the wire back here and tie up the extra there. Now, for if you have a GPS antenna like so, we're just going to feed that through here. We'll drop it. I've already got the speaker out right here, so for me it's easy. If you don't, you can just drop it down through there, grab it, and if you want to loosen a screw here, loosen the one up here if you want. You should be able to move this around a bit so you can tuck in the GPS wire from the bottom all the way to the top, and then just put it right here so it's on the corner of the window. And it's got double-sided sticky, so you can double-sided sticky. I'm going to quickly do it and I'll show you what it looks like after. So I've cleaned up our Bluetooth and our wire right here. You can see Bluetooth is right there, so that way it's farther away from the window, and we have our GPS antenna right there. After we do something like this, now we've got our antenna here. I know it's long enough. If you have a rear-facing USB, you can pop out the glove box if you'd like. It's pretty easy. If you look here, there's going to be a screw in the side of the glove box like so. Loosen the screw, pop it out, and then after you pop that screw out, you'll be able to, I'm just showing you if it was in here, pull this end out like that, and then it just slips out of the groove right here. And then from there, if I go like this, watch this, you're going to see my fingers again, right through here. Just pop your USBs through here, and then you can put them in the glove box. I already have my glove box out, so it makes it easier. You might not have to pop out your glove box. Should be able to just feed it through this hole into the glove box, and then just grab it and leave your Bluetooth stems inside your glove box so you can put memory sticks and whatever else you want on there. The cup holder, it's pretty easy. One screw there, one screw on the other side, lifts out. This front section, one screw there, one screw there. Then after that, you can lift this completely out, sink the boot in for the four-wheel drive right there, down like that. Leave this hanging here. To show you what I've done is I'm running new speaker wire right now, but this compartment's completely empty. What I've done is, this is all new wire. Look how easy this is. So once the center console's out, and again, I'm going to zap strap this up so it's nice and clean, but blue wire is right here. Go through there. There's a part for me to zap strap up in here. New speaker wire there. Same thing here. Come up through here, right along here, zap strap there, and then now run a new speaker wire there, run through the carpet, bring it down through here. I'm going to have a small incision where I'm popping all this out. So I'll make another one back down here, and I'll pop all the new speaker wires out down there, and it's super easy. Same carpet for that rear speaker over there. And then we'll have all our speaker wires ready for our amp. And then it's just getting the power wire, which we already have in the vehicle, to go down. And I'm probably gonna bring it down like this. I'll separate it from this one, so I'll zap strap it on the low side. And then instead of going through here, it'll be down there. And it'll come along this side, away from the RCAs here. But it'll come off this side and then through a different incision. Then we just have to ground it, and we're gonna have some sound. If you remember, we got the power wire, and I have it going up and along through here, and I tucked it in along through there. So it comes up, zap strapped up here, comes down, as you can see, goes along through here, away from our wires. These ones are gonna be up in the deck, so that won't even be on that side. So that way your power wire or your signal wires are all on that side, power wires on this side. We're gonna bring it down the center console. It's gonna go under the seat on one angle. They're gonna go on the seat from another angle. It's not a big deal. Shouldn't get any power wire interference that way. All right. Next thing I'm gonna do, or I've already done, is I crimped on a couple spade connectors. Going to put the speaker in now. These two clips I'm just gonna leave in because it's already got a couple speed clips, but I've also got two for right here. When you put the speaker in, only tie the two top ones in, because the two bottom ones, if you're putting that plastic grill back over top, they tie into the bottom two. Put the stereo in, that's all done. Button the front up because we don't have to do anything. Now it's all the back. So what I've done is I've peeled the carpet back here, and then I've tucked in the two wires here, and we have one coming out that side and one coming out this side. Now one thing you could do if you'd like to is you can put a small hole right here, or if you're going up and behind the you know, those panels that sit right there, it's going to be all hidden by the panel. You'll just have it here and just put your ends on and clip them onto your speaker, tie your speaker into the ring like so. That's all there really is to it. If you don't have those panels, or you're not going to reuse them, you could always drill a hole down here and tuck it in and then bring it around, so that way it's not extra right here. Up to you. But after that, I'm going to feed them out right here and tuck them in along here, zap strap them with the other wires right here, so I can make my connections to my amp right here. As I did with the carpet here, where I flipped it up like that and then tucked it in, I ran a wire from here to the corner there, as you can see, just under the carpet, and that's gonna go to our subwoofer. So now we've got all our speaker wires and subwoofer wire here. We have all our wiring here. Now we just need to do a grounding spot. So I'm gonna take a look here, find a solid grounding spot, go from there. I might even go into the stem right here, because this goes probably right to frame. So if I have to cut out a piece of carpet here and go right there, that'd be perfect. So ground's installed on a pretty tough part here, other than going actually right through the there's a water plug I see at the bottom. I was thinking about going through there, but figured we'll go off of here for now, see how it sounds. So that's it. Now we just need to connect our amp up. Amp wired up, if you're wondering how. Ground, there's my remote wire hooked up. Then you got your positive to positive, and then of course just hooked up the speakers and the sub. So there's the sub wire going in, and then there's the fronts I put on channel A and rears I put on channel B. So now when I go to my RCAs, I marked one of my RCAs for the front with tape, and that's going to be the ones without tape right here. The ones with tape, the black tape, I marked as rears, and the blues are the subs. So I'm going to just take this now, plug in the rest of the amp. Before I even screw it in, I'm going to test it. So first I'm just going to plug these in, and now it's time to go do the battery amp. Take a look. She's nice and solid in there. I just screwed it down. Next thing, going to quickly go do the battery. So did our fuse up here. As you can see, did a little jumper right to here. The shorter the better for going to the battery. Tied it on. Now that's tied on, time to close the hood, and let's go do some tuning and setup. All right, battery's done, everything's done. We tested everything, all good to go. Double DIN's all set up. Woo. Looks sick up in there. All right, sweet. See you later, Dylan. And he has a defective speaker, so he's got to go swap it out. Unfortunately, we had one defective speaker. But other than that, it sounds amazing, even with just 3 speakers right now. All right, guys, thanks again for watching. Like the video if you liked, and subscribe for more.